Oh, wait, you had an interview yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
How did that go? Did I even ask you about it?
Long.
It was a long interview. Was it good?
Let's start. Hi, it's us again. Grace, Kevin. We're comparing Kenyan and American cultures to see what's different but also similar.
Yes, we are. And if you've been enjoying these videos, be sure to give us a like. Anyway, I'm in, a crazy mode because I've been working a lot. Grace has also been working a lot, but in different ways. You may know that she has her work permit now in America, so she's been trying for months now to get work, not settling for the bare minimum, which I applaud you for. Very proud of you. We'll do another video about trying to find work here in America. But today, as you may have seen from the title, we're talking about the Bronx. We are talking a bit about the dark side. The dark side of working in America. Grace.
Oh.
So Grace, you actually got a job.
I did.
But it wasn't for you for a number of reasons, which I think we'll get into. Do you want to tell the whole story? You want to start from the beginning?
Sure. So I've been doing a lot of job applications. At first I was concentrating a lot on banks because I have experience in banking. And then I started to apply to more, private companies, if I can say. And yeah, so this company approached me. To be honest, I don't really remember applying to them, first of all. I don't know how they got my resume, but anyway. So I went on, I did my first interview with this company. It was more in the entertainment industry, very different from banking. Interview was generally very easy, easier than all the, financial industries I've been doing. Like, very simple. It was more, they're looking more for interpersonal skills and the technicals, anyway. So that went fine. The person who interviewed me, the HR, liked me, and they went on to do a second interview with the company's CFO, which was great. I was very happy with it, and the fact that she was a woman, the features were features male, female. The features female. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. God may be a woman. Anyway, so
so you got to actually interview with the CFO of the company, of the whole company.
Yeah, she liked me again, and they're like, "Oh, can you come in for an in-person interview?" Which I went and did. It was great. I interviewed with a total of 3 women, which was so good. Like, there's diversity in that, and I was like, "Yeah, maybe this is why I really need to be,
Yeah, I remember you being very excited when you came home.
Yeah.
From that, you were like, "Oh, this is like." It's a dream,
Yeah.
It's perfect. It sounds, and it was a new position, right? That they were just starting.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd really be kind of putting the protocols together and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a week after, or 3 days after, it was really quick. They responded back and congratulating me and, telling me the specifics, like the salary and the benefits that came with the job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was meant to start on that Monday, or did I wait a week? I can't quite remember. A few days, and that following Monday I was meant to report to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so HR emails me. We email each other because that particular day I had other commitment. So I asked her, so what's the time to report to work?
The gist of it was that I think the first red flag is that they didn't tell you a schedule.
Yeah, they
right?
didn't tell me what time I'm meant to start. They just come in on Monday, and I'm like, I have a commitment. Can you tell me? This is exactly what happened. Can you tell me what time I'm meant to report to work? And HR is like, come be here by 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, cool. This is a 9 to 5 job.
Mm-hmm.
So just like what I'd worked before. So come that Monday, I go to the commitment I had to do, and I was in the office by, let me say 9 or 6. Because even at the lobby, you're a new employee, you have to register, like we take your COVID stuff as well as, you register and writing your name down, picture, whatever. And so I go in and immediately I feel welcome. Everyone is so happy to see me. Everyone is so loving. So I say to the CFO, she's telling me like what I'll be doing. She has this document. She's teaching me on, how things work. And I'm like, okay, great. The meeting is done. I ask her, oh, let me go and sit with this document in my desk just to go over, the things you've taught me. She suggests instead that we take this document to the archiving system, the archives, whatever. And then she's like, yeah, you can. She changes her mind and just gives me the documents because I have basically nothing to do at my desk. So I go with these documents and sit with them at my desk. And then it gets to 4. In my mind, I know that work is meant to finish at 5. So people are leaving, and then I'm asking the person sitting next to me, like, oh, are you guys leaving? I don't know what I'm meant to do. I thought this is a 9 to 5 job. And then this girl goes to the CFO to ask her if I'm allowed to leave. And I'm like, okay, why? What? Nothing has been communicated to me. I don't know what's going on. And they say, yes, I can leave. And so I leave. I come back on the following day. Now I get an understanding that actually work starts at 8 and not 9 as I was told. So I get to the office by, I think it was 7:40 on Tuesday morning. It was very early. Get to my desk. I'm sitting with one of the other heads, not the CFO. And she's just teaching me basically what I'm going to be doing. And then HR comes and interrupts. He's like, oh, can you come to my office? And then I'm like, am I in trouble? What is going on? She wasn't happy. I could tell from her face. I'm like, what have I done? And then she sits me down and starts saying the way in all her 25 years of working at the company, she's never seen anyone arrive late. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And so she keeps going. I'm trying to, interject to try and explain myself. She doesn't let me. I was like, oh, okay. What is going on? And then she brings up another issue that apparently I'd done. She says that the CFO told her that the CFO asked me to take this document to sit with, and I said no. And I'm the one who told her that I need to, requested if I could sit with this. So I was like, oh my God, what is this? Yeah. So anyway, the day carries on. It gets to 4:00. People are leaving as usual. I don't know. I just decide to go and ask the CFO, is there anything else you want me to do? And then she's like, oh no, you can't leave. You came in late yesterday, so you have to stay an extra hour. I'm like, I wasn't late. I was only 6 minutes late. Is that what you're counting? But according to them, I was meant to have reported at 8. But yeah. I was told reporting time by HR was 9. So I'm left confused. I'm just like, you know what? There's really nothing I'm going to do home anyway, so let me just stay. So I stayed until 5. Was the only person left in the office. I'm new in the whole entire building. I was the only one. I locked. Like, if it was a malicious person, I would have just done really anyway. I don't know why they trusted me with that. So I turned the AC off, made sure like everything was off, the lights and whatever. And then I left. So on Monday morning, I also had...
Before you get into all that, though, there's another piece of it that you didn't mention yet, which was talking to your coworker there. They seemed to be very skittish.
Oh, yeah. So another thing I noticed on Tuesday, like, there's really no freedom. People are just nervous. You try talking to someone, like this person who was sitting towards my left. I'm trying to show her something on the... on my phone. She's like, no, that's not allowed here. I'm like, what is going on? What is wrong with these people? And she's just too nervous. She sees like the CFO working. She sits down and starts typing. I was like, oh my God, what is this? I think the CFO had gone for lunch or something. I can't remember. Now she was trying to open up to me. I asked her like how long she's been at the company. She says 2 years, and tells me that it's been the worst time of her life. I'm like, why? Is it because of COVID? She's like, yeah, because of COVID. But why? I mean, weren't you happy to be working from home? And then she's like, no, we were here in the office throughout COVID, like when everything peaked, when all the shops, whatever, were closed, they were coming in. So it didn't matter. The health didn't really matter to the company. And this was a major red flag for me. I was like, what?
Grace, when you came home after that day on Tuesday, you told me kind of all of these things. I was like, well, it doesn't sound like a great place to work. And I was like, you really don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be a problem for me if you decided you didn't want to work there anymore. But I gave you kind of a strategy to use to see what they would do. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So when I had the meeting with the HR, she sent me an email that I really hadn't opened. That was another red flag too. She didn't send this email on my work email. She had access to my work email, I later found out. But she decided to send it on my personal email, so I only opened it when I came home and I was reading it to you. And so you helped me decide to respond back to it, because that's what you do when you get an email. So I listed all my terms, sort of. You helped me with that.
Right. Basically, if Grace's other commitments that she had prior to working, if those were going to be real problems, I was like, just lay them all out. Just say like these are things. For example, we're going on vacation. This, as you've probably seen, we've been traveling a lot. And so that's hard if you're meant to report into the office. And so I was like, just tell them that we're going to be traveling in September.
Yeah.
And see what they say. Just let them decide, because it's better that than Grace go in and say, I resign or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's them letting her go, it's a little better that way, because it's their decision.
Right.
And they're going to own up to that decision.
Yeah. So I shot the email at 11 p.m. at night.
Oh, I didn't realize it was so late.
That's when, I was nervous of hitting send. I don't know, anyway. So I sent it. I was like, you know what, this is my life. My life is important, and if this is not the right place, then so be it. So I sent the email. So Wednesday morning, I go and do the thing I had to do somewhere else. I report to work by 9, because the CFO said I could come in by 9, Go into my desk, the CFO and the HR come, and they're like, Grace, come with us. I'm like, oh, God, why am I here? I should have not just shown up. Anyway, so both of the CFO sits at her desk, the HR is standing there looking at me like, I don't know, they're like, you know what, Grace, you can't do this anymore. You can't have you, deciding that you want to go for vacation, choosing the time you want to come in. So they hand me a letter, and I'm just like, okay, and we walk out. So as I'm walking out to the desk, they're following me the way you'd follow a thief. And that's how it felt to me. So they were following me, everyone because it's an open space workplace, everyone is looking at me like, what is going on? This woman I was sitting next to, like, Grace, what's going on? Nah, I've been fired. Or I don't know if I was really fired or I walked away. But it was mutual, let me say that.
I mean, technically they let you go,
Yeah, so I just took my bag and left. And they walked me, the CFO and the HR walked me to the exit. And that was it. So I was employed for 2 days.
I mean, what's the lesson? What's the takeaway?
The takeaway for me is just trust your gut. Don't just be somewhere because you need money. Just, all these red flags, be attentive to them. Now I'm trying to imagine being in the bank, being in that workplace. I feel like I would have been more stressed and not really being myself, just being a tool for HR or for the CFO just to use it. And also seeing the way all these other colleagues are nervous, when, I don't know, they see the CFO walking and everyone's shaking. No one needs to live a life like that.
Yeah.
You only have one life, so.
It's true. That's true. And there's sort of an expression that's like, there's a difference between working to live and living to work. And you never want to be in a situation where you're working to live. And I mean, it's the sad reality that a lot of people do have to do that. But if you can get yourself to a point where you're choosing your life over everything else,
Yeah.
I think that's more healthy. And even if you're not making a lot, I mean, as I've spent most of my life doing, even now, and we're getting by, we're doing okay. And thanks to you for subscribing, because that helps a very little bit. It helps a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
So, do you have a horror story about working somewhere, or maybe you've worked here in America, or you've worked somewhere else? Drop a note down in the comments below. Tell us. We'd love to hear them, and we do try to respond to many comments, if not all of them. You can also find us on our social media. All the links are down below in the description. I'm very proud of you. You know that? I am. I really am. Yeah.
Oh, and if you have a job, banking, please.
And until next time, kwaheri.
Bye.
Jeez.
While others may be rich of pocket, we are rich of heart.